On a peaceful island in the middle of the vast ocean, where time seems to slow down and people's hearts can easily find peace, a simple woman accidentally meets a man with a troubled past. They come from two completely different worlds. One is trying to live simply, the other seems to be running away from something that cannot be put into words. But when two lost souls touch each other, a strange connection begins to form, deep and familiar, as if they have known each other before. However, love is rarely just afternoons by the sea or gentle glances. When secrets are gradually revealed, everything becomes so fragile that just one lie can make everything collapse. And then, a surprising truth that seemed to have been buried forever suddenly returns, changing everything. Do you believe in fate? And if the past comes back to knock on your door, will you let go or fight for that love again? The island of St. Helena, a hidden paradise in the middle of the ocean, is a destination only accessible to the elite. With its long white sand beaches, crystal clear waters, and luxurious resorts, it is the perfect place to escape the real world. But for Samuel Carter, this is no vacation. It's a powerful man on the run. Samuel Carter, 35 years old, CEO of Carter Resorts, owns a chain of luxury hotels around the world. He is the man who can turn a deserted beach into a resort paradise in just 1 year. Powerful, rich, and extremely intelligent, that's what the world knows about him. But behind that perfect appearance, Samuel always carries a deep loneliness. He had loved, trusted, but was betrayed. After so many heartbreaks, Samuel no longer believed in love. To him, every relationship was just a transaction. Everyone had a price. And now, he's on the run. His family is forcing him into a political marriage, a secret merger between Carter Resorts and another major real estate conglomerate. A marriage without love, only profit. Samuel was so tired. He came to this island alone, without revealing his identity. No bodyguards, no assistants, just an ordinary man, looking for a moment of peace in his life. On the other side of the island, Lily Evans, 25, was busy in the small kitchen of a beachside cafe. She was a talented baker who had worked in some of New York's most exclusive restaurants. But the glamour of that world had never appealed to her. She hates hypocrisy, hates people who only judge others by fame and money. So she left everything behind and came to this island, opening a small bakery by the sea. Here things are simple. No fancy cakes with gold leaf or caviar, just flour, sugar, and a little love. And it was also here that she met a mysterious man who, little did she know, would change her life forever. That afternoon, Samuel walked into Lily's cafe. The doorbell rang softly as he pushed the door open and entered. Inside, the smell of freshly baked pastries mixed with the aroma of coffee, creating a warm and pleasant space. Lily was standing behind the counter, her curly brown hair pulled back, her white apron streaked with flour. She looked up when she saw the new customer enter. And at that moment, she felt something different about him. He had deep blue eyes, like the ocean after a storm. Beautiful, but with a sadness that no one could touch. Samuel approached the counter, his deep voice ringing out. "Give me a black coffee." Lily raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure? In a place as beautiful as this, one would want to try something sweeter." Samuel smiled slightly, but his eyes remained cold. "I'm used to the bitter taste." Lily looked at him for a moment, then suddenly turned around and took a freshly baked croissant, placing it on the plate in front of him. "Then you need a little sweetness to balance it out." Samuel did not have time to react. Pop! A strong wind from the sea blew in through the window, causing the box of powder on the shelf to suddenly fall down. And all that white powder fell straight on Samuel. The whole cafe was silent for 3 seconds. Lily's eyes widened in horror. Samuel, once a gentleman, now looked like a frosted cake. 1 second later, "Oh my God, I'm sorry!" Lily panicked. Samuel looked down at his white shirt, now the color of flour. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, clearly trying to control himself. I just want a cup of coffee, he muttered. Lily tried to hold back her laughter but failed. Okay, let me help you wipe it. She quickly grabbed a towel, but made the situation worse when she accidentally touched his face, leaving a trace of powder on his cheek. Samuel stared at her. Are you sure you're helping me? Lily bit her lip, then laughed. You can consider this a new experience. A little cake flour never killed anyone. Samuel's lips curled slightly. For the first time in years, he felt something gentle creep into his heart. This girl is really different. After wiping the powder off his body, Samuel sat down at a table near the window where he could look out at the sea. Lily brought coffee and pastries, then sat down across from him. She didn't ask who he was, wasn't curious about his past. She just looked at him for a moment, then said, You seem like someone who is running away from something. Samuel was startled. Lily didn't ask him about work, didn't ask him about his personal life, but somehow she saw through his sadness. Lily smiled. You can pretend to be strong to the world, but you can't hide your eyes. Samuel was silent. For the first time, there was someone who did not know who he was, did not care about his wealth or reputation, simply seeing him as a human being. And in that moment, he knew that this meeting was not ordinary. The next morning, Samuel returned to Lily's beachside cafe. He said he had no plans to leave the island anytime soon and was looking for a temporary job. Lily looked at him skeptically. Are you sure? I don't think you're the type to do manual labor. Samuel shrugged. I learn fast. Let me try. Lily laughed. She had no reason to refuse, and so the powerful CEO of Carter Resorts officially became assistant pastry chef. At first, things were not easy. Samuel was used to million-dollar meetings and grand business strategies, not kneading dough or beating eggs. The first time he tried to make croissants, he left flour flying all over the kitchen, his face covered in dirt like a child who had just played in the sand. Lily stood beside him, laughing nonstop. Are you baking or causing an explosion? Samuel glanced at her, trying to keep a straight face but failing to hide his embarrassment. It's just, I'm not used to it yet. Still, he tried. He learned how to measure ingredients, how to knead dough properly. Every time he made a mistake, Lily gently guided him back to the beginning. She didn't blame him, didn't criticize him, something Samuel didn't often see in his world. The more he spent time with Lily, the more unfamiliar he felt. Lily didn't care about his status or money. She only saw a man trying, and she was willing to help. One night, Samuel left the resort and walked along the beach. He liked the quiet of the night sea, liked the feeling of soft sand under his bare feet, and liked being free from the pressure of his CEO title. He sat down on a large rock, his eyes looking into the distance. In his mind, thoughts were in turmoil. Can you stay here forever? Could it be that for the first time in his life, he could be true to himself without being bound by status and responsibility? The sound of footsteps echoed softly. Lily appeared, holding a small cake covered in a thin layer of sugar, shining in the moonlight. Are you running away from something? She asked, sitting down beside him. Samuel was silent. Lily smiled, handing him the cake. This is a Madeleine cake. They say that when you eat it, you can remember the best memories of your life. Try it. Maybe it will help you find the answer. Samuel hesitated, but then took it and took a bite. The taste is slightly sweet. The buttery taste melts in your mouth. But most importantly, this feeling is warm. Lily tilted her head, her eyes gentle. You may not need to say it, but your eyes said it all. Samuel slowly took a deep breath. This moment changed him. After that night, they became closer. Lily continued to teach Samuel how to bake, but this time, Samuel was no longer clumsy. He was more patient, listened more. He liked the way Lily smiled when she tasted his cakes, liked the way she focused when she worked. In return, Samuel also taught Lily a few things. He took her to the most beautiful corners of the island that tourists had never set foot on. They cycled around the small roads, watched the sunrise over the cliffs, and at night, they sat together on the beach, listening to the waves. For the first time, Samuel felt like he was no longer a CEO bound by status. He was just a man in love. But the truth cannot be hidden forever. As dawn broke on the island of St. Helena, everything seemed peaceful. Carter Resorts hosted a lavish gala at the island's largest resort. It was a high-profile event that attracted businessmen, billionaires, and celebrities from around the world. Lily was honored to be chosen as the head chef for the event. This was the biggest opportunity of her career, and if successful, her name would be recognized globally. She worked tirelessly, creating the perfect menu, preparing the most exquisite desserts. She wanted to prove that even an ordinary girl like her could create wonderful things. But just before the party started, she overheard a conversation between two waiters. "Will the boss be there tonight?" someone asked. "Sure," the other replied. "Samuel Carter will be appearing as the owner of this resort. I hear he's been here for a month now, monitoring the operations." Lily paused. Samuel Carter? A chill ran down her spine. No way. She immediately took out her phone and searched for that name. And then, the screen showed a series of articles about Samuel Carter, CEO of Carter Resorts, who owns dozens of luxury resorts around the world. The man she trusted, the man she opened her heart to, the man she thought was just a normal tourist. It's all a lie. Lily felt like an invisible hand was squeezing her heart. She had let him into her life, believing that he truly wanted to live a simple life. But it turns out, he is the one who can change her fate with just a nod. She quickly left the kitchen and stepped out onto the terrace to get some air. And then, she saw him. Samuel stood there, in a smart suit, chatting with some important guests. Under the splendid yellow lights of the party, he was completely different from the image of an ordinary man she knew. No longer the man kneading dough in the kitchen. No longer the man sitting by the beach with her. No longer the Samuel she loved. He is Samuel Carter, billionaire, boss, liar. Lily stepped forward, her voice full of hurt. "You lied to me." Samuel turned back, his eyes immediately filled with worry when he saw her gaze. "Lily, older brother." She shook her head, clenching her fists. "You're not an ordinary man. You're someone who can change my whole life with just one decision, and you've never told me the truth." Samuel took a deep breath. He knew this moment would come. "Lily, I didn't mean to hide it from you. I just wanted to have some time to live as a normal person, not a CEO bound by a title." But Lily couldn't believe it. "If you really want a normal life, then why are you here as the boss of this entire island?" Samuel was silent. He could not deny the truth. Lily's eyes stung. "So, everything between us is just a game to you? You want to test how a normal person like me will react when falling in love with a billionaire CEO?" Samuel stepped forward, but she stepped back. "No, it's not like that, Lily. I never thought like that." But how could she believe it? Every sweet word, every warm touch, every moment they spent together. Was it all just a dream? And she was the only one who believed it was real? Lily shook her head, tears welling up in her eyes. "I really believed you. But it turns out I was just a fool." She turned and walked away. Samuel wanted to run after them, but there were hundreds of important guests around them. Their eyes were glued to him. He couldn't make a big scene here, and so he let her go. Lily returned to her small apartment. She took off her apron and sat on the floor, feeling like everything was falling apart. She once dreamed of a love without lies, a love that was not bound by status or money. But now, she realized, she couldn't escape the harsh reality. Outside the window, the night sky was still sparkling with stars. But to Lily, it had never been so dark. Day, the morning sun shone through the kitchen window, but to Lily, everything looked pale. She stood in the empty kitchen, looking at the resignation letter on the table. She thought about it all night. After all, she couldn't stay here any longer. She put down her pen and signed her name. As soon as the kitchen door opened, the kitchen manager, Mrs. Margaret, walked in. "Lily, are you sure?" Lily pursed her lips and nodded. "I'll be leaving the island today." Mrs. Margaret sighed, but didn't say anything more. She just placed a stack of documents on the table. "Before you go, can you help me check the raw material inventory? These are old inventory papers. I need to check this list again." Lily nodded, took the documents and walked into the storage room behind the kitchen. But as soon as she opened the old wooden door, something fell. Lily curiously bent down to pick it up. It looked old, but was still well preserved. A strange feeling welled up inside her. She gently opened the box lid. Inside were yellowed papers, a few old souvenirs. But what stunned Lily was an old photo right at the top. She picked it up, her eyes wide with surprise. In the picture is a boy and a girl holding hands on the beach. The girl in the picture is her. Her mouth fell open. She turned the photo around, her heart pounding as she saw the small scribble on the back. "Lily and Sam, best friends forever." Lily was stunned. "Sam?" She looked closely at the boy in the picture, his slightly messy black hair, his bright eyes, and a smile she could never forget. She flipped through the other items in the box. There was a faded seashell, a bracelet made of rope, and a small piece of paper with childish scribbles on it. "Lily, if one day we have to be apart, I promise I will find you, no matter where you are. I will never forget you." A shock ran through Lily's body. Samuel is Sam, her childhood friend. Meanwhile, in the resort's main conference room, Samuel is making a decision that will change his life. The board of directors of Carter Resorts is discussing plans to expand the resort. They want to turn the island into an ultra-luxury area reserved only for the super-rich. Small shops, cheap cafes, and even the bakery where Lily works will be eliminated. "This is our chance to elevate the brand," said a major shareholder. "Samuel, just sign here, and we'll start the renovation process immediately." "All they need is your signature." But Samuel couldn't do that. He looked at the contract in front of him, then slowly stood up. "No," he said firmly. The conference room fell silent. One of the shareholders frowned. "Samuel, what did you say?" He looked around the room, his eyes full of determination. "I reject this plan." "But you'll lose millions if you don't." Samuel took a deep breath. He remembered every moment with Lily, every smile, every gentle touch. He couldn't betray her. "I can make billions of dollars, but I can't find someone like her a second time." A murmur spread through the room. The shareholders were stunned. But Samuel didn't care. He only knew one thing. "I can't lose Lily." At the warehouse, Lily held the photo in her hand, tears welling up in her eyes. "I remember. She used to live on this island when she was a child. Her family was very happy at that time. But an incident happened and they were forced to leave that very night." She forgot that part of her memory and left it on this small island. Maybe he did too. But instead of holding on, it urged her to leave immediately. She couldn't stay. She couldn't let the past bind her again. She clutched the photo tightly, then packed her bags and headed to the port. Even though her heart was screaming for him, her mind told her it was the right thing to do. Samuel had his life, and she didn't belong here anymore. Samuel seemed to sense something. He ran to look for her, but couldn't find her. His intuition told him that she would leave again. He rushed to the beach. But the sky, which was originally clear, suddenly darkened. The dark clouds swirled, and the wind howled like the roar of the ocean. Lily stood in the small boat, her hands trembling as she gripped the wheel. She didn't want to leave the island this way, but things were too confusing. She had planned to leave quietly, but as soon as the boat left the dock, the storm hit harder than she had expected. Huge waves crashed against the side of the boat, water rushed in and made the boat sway. Lily panicked, trying to keep her balance, but each wave seemed to want to drown her into the deep sea. "No! Damn it!" She tried to steer the boat, but it was out of control. On the other side of the bank, Samuel also. He ran to the docks, his eyes wide with horror, as he saw Lily's boat rocking in the rough waves. "Lily!" he shouted, but the wind and rain washed away his voice. Without a second's hesitation, Samuel jumped into a nearby motorboat and drove himself out to sea without a second thought. The islanders shouted warnings. "Mr. Carter, you can't go out there. The sea is stormy, it's too dangerous." But Samuel did not listen. "I only know one thing, he can't lose her." Lily was exhausted. Her hands were cold, her heart pounding as the waves grew more ferocious. But just as she thought she was about to be swept away, a strong beam of light from the motorboat shone upon her. "Samuel!" He steered the boat through the towering waves, his eyes fixed on her. "Hold it tight!" he yelled, throwing a rope at her. Lily reached out, but just then, a strong wave hit her boat, causing her to lose her balance and fall into the sea. Everything fell into darkness. Samuel jumped down immediately. He did not care about his life. With all his might, he swam towards Lily, wrapped his arms around her waist, and pulled her out of the water and brought her safely to shore. She coughed, but when she opened her eyes, the first image she saw was Samuel. His face was full of worry, but his eyes burned with some deep emotion. Memories suddenly flooded Samuel's mind. 2 children on the beach, clear laughter, promise of the year. "Lily, is that you?" Samuel's voice trembled. "The girl I promised to find?" Lily burst into tears, her tears mingling with the rain. She nodded, choking back a sob. Samuel hugged her tightly, holding her in his arms, as if afraid that if he let go, she would disappear again. "I'm sorry I didn't recognize you sooner," he whispered. "It took us so long to find each other, and I won't lose you again." Lily leaned her head against his chest, tears falling. "I understand. Samuel never changed. He was still the same boy. It just took them too long to recognize each other." The storm finally passed. The next morning, as the sun shone its first rays on the beach, Samuel made a decision that shocked everyone. He rejected the resort renovation plan. Instead, he kept the island as a peaceful place, because this is where the most precious memories of his life are. The board objected, but Samuel just smiled. She looked at Samuel, the man who once misunderstood her, once hurt her, but in the end, still chose her instead of an entire empire. And she knew she wasn't going anywhere. That evening, on the beach, Samuel took Lily to a special place. She was stunned when she saw it. A small hut with shimmering lights, surrounded by white flower petals falling in the wind. In the middle there was a table, with 2 small cakes placed neatly. Lily chuckled. "You made the cake yourself?" Samuel chuckled. "A girl once told me that the best cakes are those made from the heart." Lily looked at him, her heart pounding. Samuel suddenly knelt down, holding a small velvet box in his hand. Inside was a simple yet elegant ring, set with a sparkling pearl. A pearl found from this very sea. "Lily Evans." His voice was warm and sincere. "It took me so long to find you. I don't want to waste another second." He took a deep breath. "Will you marry me?" Lily looked at the man before her, the one who risked his life to save her, the one who gave up a huge business opportunity just to keep the place where they belonged. She didn't need to think. She jumped into his arms, bursting into tears. "I agree." Amidst the moonlight and the sound of the waves, they shared a kiss. A kiss of true love. No more lies, no more doubts. And from that moment, they never lost each other again. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. If you like this story, don't forget to like to support the channel and subscribe so you don't miss any stories.